Hi guys, it's Ellie and in today's video I am recommending some spiritual books. These are both fiction and non-fiction. Non-fiction mostly because spiritual books are mostly on the non-fiction side, but I've also read some great fiction books which show you what spirituality means. Also, the definition of spirituality really differs from person to person. For me, it's probably a state of mind where I am at complete peace, but I'd love to know what it means to you. Without any further ado, let's get into this video. The first book I'll recommend is A Man from Mandu by Manoj Jain. This book is a book that explores the life of this character called Dhawal, his metamorphosis into this magnanimous god man called Avishkar Baba. There's also a person who's promoting him very successfully. And you must read this book if you not only want to read about spirituality, but also sort of like the business model, what god men follow. Is there really some truth behind them? Are they just fraudsters or people who are just doing scams? These are questions that legit arise in every person's mind whenever we see god men, and I won't name them, but you've probably always thought that why does this person have such a great following? Is he just a fraud? Is he really as charismatic as people think he is? You probably get very swayed by the things they say, but this doubt never goes away. And this book explores several such aspects of not only spirituality but also the business side and any other question that you might have regarding God men. So if this sounds like a concept that is interesting to you, because it's really interesting to me, I really wanted to read something of this sort because like a normal human being who is not used to the ways of God men, I want to know more. So I would highly recommend this fiction book to you if you were interested by this plot. Thank you so much to the author for sponsoring today's video and bringing it to you guys. The link to buy this book and all other books that I'm going to recommend will be in the description below as usual, so make sure you do check it out. Next book that I'll recommend is a book that I read just 2 days ago because I wanted to make this video as diverse as possible, and this is a book that was written hundreds or maybe thousands of years ago. This book is called Tao Te Ching, which means the way of living, and this is written by Lao Tzu, and this is probably the most enlightening book that I've read on spirituality. It is loaded with a lot of knowledge. I will leave some of the proverbs and some of the sayings of this book on the screen above, but the thing is, I read this book on Storytel, and since I was reading it in an audiobook form, I finished it within an hour. However, I recommend reading it every day, one line a day. It is so impactful. However, do also keep in mind that a lot of things have changed due to time, and there were times where I did not agree with the author, but this is one of the most reputed books on spirituality, and if you want to read something nice, enlightening, you have to read this book. My favorite quote of this book has to be this particular one. I don't remember it exactly, but it went something like, having power over others is strength, but having power over yourself is true power. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. If you want to read this book, you can also avail it as an audiobook with a 30-day free trial of Storytel, the audiobook platform that I use to listen to audiobooks. The link to the 30-day free trial will be in the description below, storytel.com/Ali. Quite a few of you told me that in the past 2 or 3 days, you were not able to access the code. I'm sorry, the code actually expired. So I talked to them and brought that code back so that you can get the 30-day free trial once again. So yeah, you can get the 30-day trial now if you failed to get it earlier. And a lot of books that I'm recommending today were books that I read on Storytel, although I do have a few paperbacks as well. Definitely one such book is A Monk's Guide to a Clean House and Mind. This helps me clean both my house and my mind. But the thing is, when there's a lot of clutter around you, you can't focus. I have seen so many people saying that, oh my god, my life is in a mess, and I go to their place and I see their whole place is like a trash can. It's not like you need everything. Clean everything out. My greatest takeaway from this book is clean everything out. If you don't need something, just put it in a garbage bag. I'm sure that you have stuff in your home that you don't use, but you won't let them go away because there's some emotional attachment. Just let it go. Let it go. And please read A Monk's Guide to a Clean House and Mind. This is also available on Storytel. The next book that I would recommend is a book that a lot of you were asking me to read, because a lot of you are Sadhguru fans. This is Relationships and Emotions. Isn't this book fantastic? Like, it's two-way. Wow. Well, but the thing is, I'm a big Sadhguru fan. I do differ with Sadhguru on a few things. Like, I'm 90% I like him, 95% I like him, 5% I differ from him, and I think that's okay. You can't, there can't be one person in the world with whom you 100% agree with, because that would mean that you don't have any individuality of your own, right? So if you have some individuality, you will differ from anyone you think about or interact with. Maybe you're differing with me right now, and that's okay. Anxiety is something I suffer from on a daily basis, and it highly affects emotions and relationships, which is why I got this book. And these are two factors of your life that you just can't do away with. You can say, I want to be a hard-hearted bitch, or I am a sakht londa, but you do have emotions, right? So you need to know how to tackle these emotions. Same for relationships. You know, you've been in your share of the worst relationships in the world. That doesn't mean you'll stop having relationships at all, right? So you need to know the right way to do it. Obviously, there's no 100% right way to do it. Sadhguru never says that, but he does gives you a nice guideline to think along the lines of. The next few books that I will recommend are holy books of any religion. Any religion. It can be Hinduism, it can be Islam, it can be Christianity. I have explored all sorts of holy books. I have not read any of them completely. I'm very ashamed to say that. But I have read a synopsis or a shorter version of all of them very well. I have done my proper research on articles written about them to explore the cons and the pros. And basically, I have a good idea about all sorts of holy books. And something that you will understand when you read them is that none of them say that their religion is the best religion. They just say that humanity is the best religion. Serving a human should be your religion. Any human at your doorstep is your God. Any human around you, if they are hungry, you should feed them. If you read holy books, you will be filled with a lot of kindness, which is why I love holy books. A lot of you tell me that you don't like holy books because sometimes they are regressive towards women, and I agree, they are. But also there's also this factor of translation. Sometimes things get lost in translation. Times are changing, so obviously it's fine if some of it does not hold any relevance to you. But that doesn't mean you will not read a book at all. Holy books help you a lot in developing your thought process, and once again in making you more kind, which is something we are lacking in today's world. Next book that I'll recommend is Khalil Gibran's Prophet. Now this is a collection of all 12 of his work. I'm not sure if that's all of his work, but this has 12 of his works. But Prophet is definitely the most beautiful of them. Look at what Puchu Puchi have done to this. Look at what they have done. But it's okay. Those of you who are new to my channel, Puchu Puchi are my rabbits. I have 2 rabbits and they are mostly roaming around, so they sometimes destroy my books. But that's okay. I love books, but I love my rabbits more. But coming back to the Prophet answers a lot of questions, and by a lot, I mean a lot. I loved the answers of the Prophet. I can't imagine what an amazing man Khalil Gibran must be to answer these amazing questions in such an amazing way, because some of these questions are very, very relevant in all times, and I will leave a few of them on the screen as usual so that you get an idea what sort of book this is about. I can't probably explain it. The next book that I'll recommend is a book that is a very uncanny fiction, and it's called How I Became a Tree. I read this on my Kindle Unlimited subscription, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's about a girl who has always loved trees more than human beings, and she, somehow she starts becoming like a tree. And if I say it in my very bad terms, you won't understand. But when you read the book, she has written it so beautifully. Trees are portrayed as such calm, purposed individuals. It's crazy. I had no idea anybody could write such a book like that. There's this FM channel in Bengali called 91.9 Friends FM, which used to have this story show where there was this story called Shakuntala about this girl who became a tree. But she literally became a tree. Like, literally she became a tree. It was sort of supernatural. But this book is I picked this book up because I love that story Shakuntala, but this is very different. This also has a lot of scholarly research on trees. At this point, I think I really want to become a tree as well. The next book that I recommend is Gopal Das's Life's Amazing Secrets. I already have a review of this book up on my channel, so I won't spend much time on this. But once again, if you like Sadhguru, chances are that you also follow Gopal Das. So yeah, highly recommend it. The next two books actually are mostly about spirituality and love. And these books are 40 Rules of Love by Elif Shafak, which is not so much on the spiritual side, and Brida by Paulo Coelho, which is more on the spiritual side, but sort of on the occult as well, because it deals with the witch, this girl who wants to become a witch. Amazing books. These two books changed my whole particular perspective on love. Brida has this one passage which can totally sum up what this book is about. Those of you who have read it, you know which passage I'm talking about. Same for 40 Rules of Love, which is more on this 40 rules of love this particular person had made. This woman and also a man who sort of explored this together, but mostly the woman. And it's one of the best books that I've ever read. Last but definitely not the least, I'll highly recommend Unfuck Yourself. It's definitely not a highly spiritual book. It's not even spiritual to a great extent, but it will help you have a more calm and composed mind. So yeah guys, these are the 10 books that I wanted to recommend to you guys for spiritual learning. Let's talk about the story of Shakuntala now that we are done with this video. But a quick reminder, the links to all the books are in the description below. Grab them if you want to. And a link to a Storytel trial of 30 days is also in the description below if you want to read books for free for 30 days. Let me know, and you can get the free trial in the description below with storytel.com/Ali, which is the 30-day discount code. Let's get into the story of Shakuntala that I heard on 91.9 Friends FM years ago when I was addicted. That show is, I don't think that show is aired anymore. At that point of time, it used to air around afternoon on Sundays. And Sundays, since I was in school, it would be a great day. And this man used to tell stories. So this was the story of Shakuntala, which I loved. There was this girl called Shakuntala. She used to live in a PG. PG as in she used to live in a mess, I guess. I forgot what exactly it was, with a friend. And she was very close to that friend. And that friend is actually narrating the story. That friend says that Shakuntala was a very strange girl. She would act like a tree. There would be times where she would just go to the terrace and open her clothes and soak in the sun. Like a tree would take the sun, I guess, and slowly become more active. It was like there are so many strange things that Shakuntala does which are like a tree. And then we also find out that when Shakuntala was very small, like this started when she was in her mother's womb. Her mother planted a plant. Okay, now that I think this name of the story was Shuli. But okay, because the plant that her mother planted was a Shuli plant. But anyway, I guess I would go on with Shakuntala. So there was a Shuli plant that her mother planted in the garden, and the age of the plant was equal to the age of Shakuntala. And Shakuntala loved this plant. Her mother died soon after giving birth to her, so she lived only with her father. But her best friend was the Shuli plant because it was just her age. And it was crazy how she used to talk to that plant every day. And after she came to Kolkata to study, because she's living in a PG here now, she used to miss that plant heavily. And slowly what happens is that Shakuntala starts feeling sick. There would be nights where the narrator would wake up and find Shakuntala whimpering in cold, saying the name again and again, Shuli, Shuli, Shuli. It was pretty uncanny when I was hearing that for the first time. And then the girl, Shakuntala, says that she wants to go back home. Shakuntala goes back to her home, but she does not return for over a month. So the narrator decides that she also wants to go to check in on her. And when she goes to her place, her father says that Shakuntala never returned. When the narrator found out that Shakuntala never returned, she was very, very curious. So she went to the garden and she found that instead of one, there are two Shuli plants or trees waving in the wind as if they are talking to each other.